I'd like to welcome everybody to a public hearing concerning proposed local law number blank of 2023, amending the Town of Webb solid waste local law. I'd like to call the public hearing to order. Will the clerk please read the notice of the public hearing?
Oh dear, hold on. Whereas the Town Board finds it necessary to amend the current Town of Webb Solid Waste Local Law, Chapter 400 of the Town Code, and to ensure that the town's solid waste disposal rules and methods remain consistent with the mandates of the County of Herkimer and Oneida Herkimer Solid Waste Management Authority. And whereas the Town Board wishes to ensure the town's solid waste disposal facilities are available to the residents of and the visitors to the town in a fair and predictable manner. And whereas proposed local law number blank of 2023, repealing and replacing Chapter 400 of the Town Code of the Town of Webb has been prepared, which would accomplish this. And whereas, under the New York State Town Law, no local law may be passed until a public hearing has been held. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board shall meet and hold a public hearing at the Town Visitor Center, 3140 State Route 28 at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, October 10th. To consider proposed local law blank of 2023, repealing and replacing Chapter 400 of the Town Code of the Town of Webb, and hear all interested parties or persons at that time may take any other actions authorized by law concerning the proposed local law, and be it further resolved that the Town Board authorizes and directs the Town Clerk to post a notice of public hearing, duly adopted 12th day of September 2023.
The purpose of this hearing, public comments on the proposed local law number blank of 2023, amending the Town of Webb solid waste local law. All comments shall be directed to the Town Board, and be relevant to the topic and will become part of record. When called upon, please state your name for the record, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Anyone? No comments? Having heard all comments? No comments from those wishing to speak on this topic?
David Winslow.
No, you'd like to speak?
I was inquiring about the fees you intend to charge for these.
Do you have a comment about the fees?
How much you're looking at charging?
We can address that in the regular meeting.
This is just for
Listening purposes only? Do you have any comments about?
Okay, well, we'll address that at the regular meeting, I guess.
Okay, thank you. Having heard all comments from those wishing to speak on the topic, would someone like to make a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'd like to welcome everyone to the Town of Webb regular meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. Please sign in at the attendance sheet and please turn off your cell phones. The next regular meeting will be on November 14th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Audit of claims meetings will be held on the first Monday, November 6th, and the third Monday, November 20th. Both begin at 5:30. Executive session may occur this evening if deemed necessary. The board received a thank you from Jim and Pam Munger for supporting the martial arts program. They're very grateful for the support. We thank you for their continuing support of a most successful program. Barbara Downs won money at the Old Forge Fire Department Big Bucks raffle, and Barbara shared her winnings with the Old Forge Fire Department, St. Bartholomew's Church, and the newest addition to the Town of Webb, Conklin Dog Park. Thank you, Barbara, for your $500 donation. Local law number blank of 2023, amending the Town of Webb solid waste local law. The board held a public hearing this evening. What is the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion to adopt, please.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any board discussion?
Yeah, most of the stuff that you'll find in this law is the same that was in our existing law. There's a couple of changes that are in regard to dumpster use for commercial enterprises. And there's a clause for the new part, which is going to involve, and you've heard me talk about this a bunch, the labels for your cars, your vehicles, so that you can access use at the transfer station as a resident of the town of Webb. And in the absence of those labels in your vehicle, if someone rents a short-term rental and they don't want to give up their labels, they will be able to purchase a sticker for their bags. And to answer your question about the fees, we haven't set the fees yet because we haven't really sat down to exactly figure out how many we're ordering of each of those items, but the car sticker, which is removable, so you can move it from one vehicle to the next, will be free to all taxpayers, and the labels will be as close to cost as we can get them. It's just to keep people honest, stop having the abuse in our transfer station that we experience with people coming from out of town. And so nothing has changed. Everything is still free pickup on the street on your regular days and free drop off. You just have to have that identifying label with you. And people will be turned around. So even if Gary Staub, who's lived here for 55 years or more, if he goes up there and doesn't have his label, we are going to insist that they turn people around. Just that way, we know that you belong here. You'll have that label in your vehicle, your free label, and you'll get 2 per household.
Thank you, Barb. Any more discussion? Would you like to do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Gardner?
Aye.
Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Councilwoman Green?
Aye.
Councilman Ross?
Aye.
Supervisor Baker?
Aye.
5 ayes.
We have a notice of a public hearing on a proposed local law resolution setting a public hearing on proposed local law number blank of 2023 to provide real property tax exemptions from town taxes for volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers pursuant to section 466-A of the real property tax law. Whereas the Whereas the Webb Town Board wishes to consider adoption of local law number blank of 2023 to provide real property tax exemptions from town taxes for volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers. And whereas this legislation is authorized in accordance with New York Real Property Tax Law 466-A, and whereas New York Real Property Tax Law 466-A requires the town board to hold a public hearing prior to the adoption of this law. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Webb Town Board shall meet and hold a public hearing at the Town Information Center, 3140 State Route 28, Old Forge, New York, at 7 p.m. on the 14th day of November 2023 to consider the proposed local law number blank of 2023 and to hear all interested persons, and at that time may take any other actions authorized by law concerning proposed local law number blank of 2023. And it be further resolved that the Webb Town Board authorizes and directs the Webb Town Clerk to publish and post a notice of public hearing concerning proposed local law number blank of 2023 in a manner provided by law. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
You gotta have a second.
Oh, second, sorry.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 207 Pullman Ave, tax map ID number 041.58-3-60. The town board has considered the report from Andrew Betty, Code Enforcement Officer, and tabled this at the August meeting and the September meeting. What's the pleasure of the board?
This is where I had hoped the attorney would be here. just to find out how to act on this. If we remove it from the table, that does not mean that we necessarily are moving forward, but I would like discussion, brief
You
discussion.
gotta remove it from the table to discuss it.
Okay.
So, I'm not comfortable with this either at this moment. Can we just table it again?
I don't see a need. Can we please, I'll make a motion to remove it from the table.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Board discussion?
The owner of said property has worked with USDA Rural Development and is in line to receive a grant that will give him access to installing a new heating system with existing ductwork this year before winter, and some other inside work that needs to be done. And he is also applying for a low interest loan. The value is not of importance to us, but he's applying for a loan that will be a 30-year loan. And so I see no reason to do anything further with trying to condemn or,
Yeah, remove.
yeah. So we need to, do we act from this motion? This is what, I don't know that we can act on this motion. I think we have to make another motion. So that was my hesitancy without having the attorney. But we've moved it to untable it and discuss. I would like to make a motion that we stop action.
There you go.
But somebody has
And
to,
I'll second that too.
is that all done in one fell swoop? Because we,
You can just stop the action that you were gonna do.
okay.
If the
It can be
vote-
reimposed,
It could be reimposed if things aren't followed through, correct?
Okay.
Right, but we still have to have the.
but the person is working with the request.
Right.
All right, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Gardner?
Aye.
Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Councilwoman Green?
Aye.
Councilman Ross?
Aye.
Supervisor Baker?
Aye. Final order establishing Town of Webb Ambulance District. Nancy, could you please read that?
Whereas the Webb Town Board has considering forming a Town of Webb Ambulance District in accordance with Article 12A of New York Town Law for the purpose of providing emergency medical and ambulance services within the town. And whereas a map, plan, and report was prepared concerning the proposed district and was filed in the town clerk's office and made available for public inspection. And whereas the map, plan, and report describes the boundaries of the proposed district, the proposed method of operation, the maximum amount proposed to be expended for the ambulance services, and the cost of the proposed district to the typical property owner, and if different, the typical one of a two-family home. And whereas establishment of the proposed district was determined not to be an action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. Whereas on July 11th, 2023, subsequent to the filing of the map, plan, and report with the town clerk, the town board opted an order reciting A, the boundaries of the proposed district, B, the proposed services and proposed method of operation, C, the maximum amount proposed to be expended for the service, D, the cost of the district, the typical property, and the typical one or two family home, if not the typical property, E, that no capital improvements are anticipated for the proposed district, and therefore no financing will be employed, F, the fact that a map, plan, and report describing the proposed district, services, and capital improvements is on file in the town clerk's office, and G, the time and place of a public hearing on the proposed district. And whereas copies of the public hearing order were duly published and posted and were filed with the Office of State Controller, all required by law. And whereas prior to publication of the public hearing order, a detailed explanation of how the estimated cost of the district to the typical property and typical one or two family home, if not the typical property, were computed was filed with the town clerk for public inspection as part of the map, plan, and report. And whereas a public hearing on the proposed Town of Webb Ambulance District was duly held on August 8, 2023. And whereas on August 8, 2023, the town board adopted a resolution determining that A, a notice of public hearing was published and posted as required by law and was otherwise sufficient. B, all the property and property owners within the proposed district will be benefited thereby. C, All the property and property owners benefited are included within the boundaries of the proposed district. And D, the establishment of the district as therein described is in the public interest in approving the establishment of the district as the boundaries are set forth in the map, plan, and report, subject to permissive referendum in the manner provided in Town Law Article 7. And whereas the town clerk duly posted and published the notice required for resolutions subject to permissive referendum, and no petition for referendum was filed within the 30 days after the date of the resolution. And the town clerk has filed the certificate to the effect in the office of the county clerk pursuant to tax law section 204-E, section 4A. And whereas the permission of the state comptroller is not required pursuant to town law section 209-F. Now therefore, it is hereby ordered that the Town of Webb Ambulance District be established as described in the map, plan, and report, and the services described in the map, plan, and report be provided upon the required funds being made available or provided for. And is further ordered that the Webb Town Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause a certified copy of this order to be duly recorded in the office of the county clerk in the time and manner required by law. And is further ordered that the Webb Town Clerk is authorized and directed to cause a certified copy of this order to be filed in the office of the State Department of Audit and Control in the time and manner required by law.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do I have a motion?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Board discussion.
Gotta happen. No.
Everybody's all set? Okay. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Gardner?
Aye.
Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Councilwoman Green?
Aye.
Councilman Ross?
Aye.
Supervisor Baker?
Aye.
5 ayes.
We're going to talk about the 16 by 16 floating dock surplus. Councilman Ross, can you please tell the board what you learned about pricing today before I read this?
Yes, I called Dick Bird, who originally sold us the dock, and he said that was a special order. It came out of Buffalo. That company's out of business, whatever. But he believes it was around a $10,000 dock, and he believes that asking pretty much around $8,000 would be a fair price to sell it.
How long ago did we buy it? Can we do this discussion now, or should we be making a motion?
Well, we need to put a minimum bid in there for the motion. So I wanted
So I guess
to ask about the money
So I guess, yeah, the minimum bid
of
is up to us,
8,000.
but if you want to try it for that and see what
Well,
Well,
didn't
it's a
we
good
buy
question,
it
though. How long ago?
originally?
we bought it.
Can't we find the history of when we bought it to find out what we paid for it, rather than having to?
We
get
paid
it-
$10,000.
When though?
Did we, or
I
did
think it was
you guess that we did?
2019.
Was it 2 years ago?
It was
I think it
4 years ago, I think.
I think it was
4 years
19.
ago?
It was the year I came on.
Yeah.
That you guys had bought it just before that. and
I
Okay.
would say
we had put
19.
in
It seems that there would be a record of the purchase, that's all, rather
4 to
than
5 years.
getting an estimate from Dick Bird.
I think Bonnie just said we paid 10, right?
We paid 10 for it. We got it from Dick, right?
That's what he said. I mean,
Right, that's what
if
he's,
we need a record, then we gotta,
You can put it off.
yeah,
All right.
we can wait.
Sounds great. RFP for a ski rental shop. The town of Webb aims to replace the flooring at the ski rental shop at Macaulay Mountain to create a safe and comfortable environment, especially in the area susceptible to snow melt. The primary goals are to remove existing carpeting, baseboards, and replace them with 18 by 18 interlocking rubber tiles, rubber T-molds for doorways, and new 4-inch cove baseboard. This project install will need to take place between 11/20/23 to be completed by 12/1/23. All RFPs due to the town clerk on or before November 6th. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second it.
Board discussion?
This is for the equipment room, the rental room there, Ted's space. The carpet's tore up, it's falling apart. It's time to be replaced. Instead of going with, this is the new technology, basically, not technology, but a lot of the new ski resorts are using this interlocking foam. It's susceptible, it keeps away from mold and moisture. It's very good. It's durable, and if something does happen to it, we just replace the 18-inch thing instead of what happens now. You put down the commercial carpet, one tier, and now the whole thing looks like crap. So this is what's being recommended, becoming a new standard for that kind of flooring. I actually kind of would like to see the flooring in the whole basement be done this way if it seems to work out good for this room. My recommendation is that next year the whole floor downstairs needs to be done. And the stairs are in rough shape going up and down, so that will have to be identified next year. But yeah, that's what this is for.
Thank you. Any more board discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Gardner.
Aye.
Councilman Greco.
Aye.
Councilwoman Green.
Aye.
Councilman Ross.
Aye.
Supervisor Baker.
Aye. Macaulay Mountain Deck. The town of Webb aims to replace the deck at Macaulay Mountain to create a safe and comfortable environment. The town is replacing the deck at Macaulay. The specs are on file with the town clerk. All bids should be to the town clerk by November 6th. What is the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion that we do that.
Second?
I'll second it.
Board discussion?
Sooner than later.
Anyone else? Roll call vote, please, Nancy.
Councilman Gardner.
Aye.
Councilman Greco.
Aye.
Councilwoman Green.
Aye.
Councilman Ross.
Aye.
Supervisor Baker.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Make a motion to advertise for a full-time ski attendant with benefits, 40 hours a week, possible nights for snowmaking. Applications to be the town clerk on or before November 3rd, 2023. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. That's all our business. Councilman Gardner, do you have something for us?
Sure, I got a couple things. Coming up soon, we'll be announcing, probably the next couple days, an informational meeting for Macaulay Mountain. Hopefully, I think possibly at the first Monday meeting in November. Brian Bamberger will be here too to kind of go over everything that we're thinking of doing and talking about doing, and hearing from the public information, public comment from it. And we can discuss through all that stuff here. And on top of that, Brian, myself, and Mike all went up to Lake Placid. Lose track of days now, in the last week and a half, 2 weeks ago or something like that. They had a ski convention there. Basically, they had all the manufacturers on display there. They were doing lectures and demonstrations and over multiple days. We went there just specifically to talk to the different vendors that might possibly be needed to fix and update some of the infrastructure here. We had a lot of great meetings, and some other possibilities of working with Orta. So the CEO at the time of Orta approached us and talked to us about some possible working together of things that they have there that they are changing out that would still be very good for us. So we'll see what happens with that, but it was a very positive conversation that we might be able to get some equipment from them in the near future that would add up to be quite a bit of money. But without any more information, I really can't talk more on that. But and then the mountain bike trails, the grant work, they're up there. They look fantastic. They're banging away. They got over half-mile trails done right now, and I think their plans are to keep going until they can't go anymore up there. So that's going fantastic, and that's it.
If they keep going, Kurt, will they finish it this year?
No.
Okay.
No, but the goal is that they'll be back in the spring next year. Get a good, 3-4 months in there, and
Okay, all right.
they're basically go until the money runs out. You know what I mean? So, but to me, it seems like we're going to at least get a mile of trails done this year. If not, we'll see how the weather turns here, but the fact that they got a half-mile done already is pretty good. I don't know if you saw the pictures. I sent out pictures of some of the information the state wanted. So the state requires documentation of every step of the way through this whole thing. What's that?
What are they doing?
Building the mountain bike trails?
Building more trails? Or?
Yeah. They're building 7 more miles of trails. Was the grant that we received 4 years ago or 3 years ago. It just finally, the states finally released the money for us to actually do it. So it's a $250,000 grant. It's a roughly $60,000 match. The match is happening between CAA, town, and APTA, as far as coming up with the matching part of the funds. So it's a pretty big win for us, and the trails are state of the art. You can hike them. A lot of the trails are hikeable as well too. Just the one-way trails, when you see a sign one way, don't hike those ones. That's the only thing I'll say about that, but it's spectacular back there. It really is. It's gorgeous. A lot of the trails, almost all the new trails are actually being done between the backside of Macaulay and Little Moose Mountain. And if you've never walked back through there in the summer and the fall, it really is. It's big country back there. It's weird. I've walked a lot of woods, and there's just something about that trail when you go down through there. There's some big huge meadows that open up, and it's really quite a sight. It's really pretty. So, and the mountain bike trails are getting used quite a bit.
Is there a moose out there?
There's moose everywhere right now. I can't tell you how many moose tracks I've seen. So, but I just don't see the moose.
Right.
So, they do exist.
Thank you.
That's it.
Councilman Greco?
Working on a whole bunch of stuff, but there's some exciting stuff. I think with these new positions that we have that deadline to apply for on October 20th for the recreation manager and that Macaulay Mountain office manager, I think are just going to be such a great help to what we're doing. The first winter with the rec center, we figured out a lot of stuff, and I think looking at some heating bills, we did a good job of conserving some energy over there because the insulation and whatnot we did there, and fixing the floor and working through all the kinks, and the floor is more settled now, so hopefully we can get some pickleball people back in there, but we're just waiting to have that person in position to be able to oversee all that, and hopefully we'll have that by November as the facility gets busy. The door and the key fob stuff, the door is getting shipped here October 18th, so we can get our key fob system in place. There's cameras in there to make it more safe and secure for use. Yeah, I'm really just looking forward to people working together and catering all that we have here. I think as we're finding out, there's a lot of people here coming and going still, even into mid-October now, and I think we should definitely give a big thanks to all our town employees that are around here keeping this place clean and keeping it in check, because it's definitely overwhelming at times, and we'll look into all that. We're doing our budget meetings right now, so I hope to kind of take that all into consideration when we look at some wages here over the next few days for our town employees. But other than that, just excited for growth, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah, can I add in one more thing? I forgot totally about this. Sorry.
Your time's up. No, go ahead. Yes.
We are filing for a grant for a help me out there. My mind just went blank. No, it's a game changer grant, but the
Magic carpet.
The magic carpet. Sorry, magic carpet for the Bunny Hill. There is a grant out there that would pretty much cover the full cost of it, and it's a game changer grant. It's called, and that would be a game changer for the beginner hill there. It'd be a 200-foot covered magic carpet. So instead of the rope tow, you walk on, you stand down there, you go to the top, you get off, and you ski down.
Can you use that for the mountain bikes too? Did I see that? Is that a different one?
It's a different one.
Because there's like the little kid. Okay.
Yeah, no. So that this would strictly just be for skiers and snowboarders. But we experience a lot of difficulty in the younger youth, especially with snowboarders with a rope tow, depending on if you're right foot or left foot, and just even with skiers. Kind of people, it's gotten to the point now where that's what people expect to see when they go to a ski hill is one of these magic carpets. So it would be a game changer for us if we did get that. So Living 80K is applying and currently applying that for that grant for us. So we'll see. We'll find out in November, I think, like November 16th or something like that, if we get it or not.
I got a question about that. Has anybody ever looked into like frisbee golf up in the back towards the mountain and stuff? Has that ever been?
If you want to go that route, you could go that route. So
no, I was curious. It's such a big draw,
Yeah.
So you're saying have at it? Is it?
No,
Here's my torch. Go ahead.
It's about $30,000 to put frisbee golf up there, and you can do it where people take the chairlift to the top and they play frisbee all the way down, and then go back up and go down another thing. And
would it affect anything else that's going on? Could you do it while they're mountain biking?
It's literally just a chain basket. It's a pole with the chains on it, and you just.
I know what it is.
I know, but I'm saying as long as nobody hits the pole, you just don't put the poles where anybody's going to run into them skiing,
that's a huge draw
because they're permanent.
Sure.
But if the town wanted to go that way, they could. It would be a very easy thing to install. It just somebody that I don't know anything about frisbee golf or how to design a course, but there's people out there that do.
It takes a lot of room. Like a golf course is the perfect place for it, from what I see on TV.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, a lot of ski hills do adapt to this, and that's what they do. They charge the fee to go up to the top.
Sure.
You know, and then people play down, and they go up and they come down. So there it would be come down Challenger or Sky Ride or Sidewinder. Most likely Sidewinder. I mean, Sky Ride and Challenger would be the two trails, just because Sidewinder gets so wet. But you could. I'm sure that somebody could design something out there between there and at the base, some sort of cool course. But not
Thank
at
Councilwoman Wood.
Put it on you. I wasn't adding it to the list.
While you're at it.
No, it would be cool if somebody knew what they were doing.
Enough going on. We need to go somewhere.
Okay, so today I had my school meeting. It was on a Thursday or a Tuesday instead of a Thursday, just because of scheduling. The police have been invited to lunch at Sharp, and they are coming on November 9th on a Thursday at noon. I've confirmed it with both Chief Johnston and Linda Grace. Holly Armandola and I will both attend as the liaisons to school in the town. This is a follow-up. The AED boxes that I inquired about maybe at our audit meeting, Tom checked for me today. They are both installed at the rec center, but they're empty. There's no AEDs in them. Do we know when we're getting one for North Street?
There was one down there, so I'm lost.
There was one there?
There was one, and maybe because of the rain it got wet and they took it out. I'll check with Steve tomorrow. There was one down there. Yeah, they were making a roof over.
The boxes are there, but there's nothing in it.
Yeah, I've never seen anything in the box.
It was there.
Okay.
And maybe because of the rain, I don't know, because the box, the outside boxes weren't there originally.
Okay.
On my list.
Okay, thank you. Rex, this is for you, Mr. Lights. Rex said that the lights flickered at the nighttime game on Saturday, and maybe it was the wind gusts, and just wanted to make you aware with all the issues that we've had with lighting. I hope there's not.
I was.
Oh, you'd love to hear that. Are you saying not it too?
Town-wide power.
No, I was there for that. The power actually flickered in town, and
Did
I
it?
think
Okay.
that one is off of the LED.
I saw a flicker somewhere.
So this is the one behind the backstop by the field. I don't think that one has been turned over yet to like LED and whatnot. I think it just took a little while for it to turn back on.
Okay. Just wanted to.
They do too.
Yeah. So
But there's only two down there that are LED.
oh, okay.
Oh,
The two new ones. Okay, yeah. But that's what it looked like. I was right across the way from that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Rex wanted to say thank you on behalf of himself and the school for the use of the entire rec facility for Columbus Day weekend tournament. It works out very well for them, so there's the thank you. Do we have a timeline for repair to the markers for the blind on the Toby at Railroad Ave and the other sidewalk crossings that have been noted that there was, they were broken? And also, do we have a plan for correcting the flooding and icing that occurs on the Toby Trail near the wastewater treatment plant? People have to literally walk onto private property to get around a big swath of area. And I have mentioned it to the highway superintendent, and I haven't gotten any response for quite some time.
It gets about 6-8 inches deep right there.
It's terrible. And then when it freezes, it's a skating rink, and somebody's going to get hurt.
Where is it now?
Down behind Sandy Garish's trailer, Sandy Hart's house trailer.
There's it once and it's still 6-8 inches low.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
really
it
problematic.
gets to be a skating rink all year long.
Yeah. Grateful to have another walker here to point that
I
out.
walk it every day, every night.
Okay, we received a notice about the barrel being removed from North Street. We also received a notice saying that it's on our property and we need to clean it up. So
That's in the hands of our lawyer right now.
is he talking to an engineer?
He's told us to just be quiet till he's ready to.
Okay.
That was today.
What was that? What?
The public should know because the public people
Absolutely.
talked about it before.
Absolutely.
There was a barrel on North Street that was found when the soil borings were done way back in, I don't know if it was a year ago summer or last
December.
spring. Okay, last December, right. They did soil borings for when people first was looking at the property,
Yeah.
and they discovered that there was a barrel full of contaminated oil, whatever, on the site. So it was marked, blue flags on stakes. It was marked for a long period of time, and the state wanted to clean up, DEC wanted to clean up, and when they came to check it out, the barrel was gone. So
Not cleaned up.
it's not cleaned up. It was not cleaned up. Somebody just took it out. So the DEC has told us that it's town property and we're responsible for the cleanup.
The state also has a super fund for cleanup too.
Right, brownfield, you gotta apply for it. Right.
I think we have to verify with the surveyor, maybe possibly too, that that actually is on town land.
I think it's already been determined by DEC.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, I'm sure it is. It was in that email that they sent us.
But the email reads that it's on that property of Rivet's property. It doesn't say town of Webb, it says.
No, somewhere in there it says that it's on town property. Regardless, I just wondered if we had a plan, and obviously Brian's looking at it, so.
It's not on town property.
At this late date in the year, I'm disappointed to say that the zoning review and update will not be completed. And y'all have heard me talk about this forever also. This update was a priority that was needed following the adoption of the master plan, which occurred in 2019. And so here we are 4 years later and we still don't have it adopted. So I'm hoping that whoever wins the supervisor race will please prioritize this as number one to get done in the first of the year. And at the same time, it's going to be time to start a new comprehensive plan update. So there you have it. If we don't do this, there's recommendations in the comprehensive plan that say how our zoning should be and what people want to do. So now there's, for instance, recommended ADUs, which is accessory dwelling units. You can put those on a properly zoned property for long-term rental. It's in our master plan. There's funding available through New York State, but we haven't updated our zoning. So we could end up in a lawsuit if we don't get this straightened out, because people are going to say, it's right here, you said we could do this, but you haven't updated your own zoning. So we need to get this taken care of. It's very frustrating to me. I worked for 9 years with Gary Staub, starting from the beginning on the comprehensive plan, and it's 9 years later and we still don't have a zoning update. So that's my bitch for my last. I got one more meeting, guys, but that was really important. Really important. One more after this. December. This is November. No, this is
October, you have two.
Take it back, you got 2 more.
That's close.
Well, you can skip one.
I might. Are you tired of hearing of me?
Take vacation pay.
That's all that I have. I'm heartbroken that that's not going to get done, because that was a major initiative.
Thank you very much.
Gonna get there.
I just read the
Councilman
letter,
Ross?
because it says it
Yes, I'm gonna go back to,
Appears
I
to be
brought
a
this
member.
up at a couple meetings and now it came to light again in a different manner. It's, the whole conversation started because of the ambulance district that we're creating. And a person came up to me and said, well, everybody in the town is paying tax for that, right? And I said, yes. So the question was, how do we get to the outskirts of these places that need EMS service if they're paying for it? Right? And I basically said they kind of are anyways, because we give them money, but this brought more light to it. So the conversation went farther, and they said, well, there's a rail car that supposedly we can are used for our EMS to get out to Beaver River. And I brought this Beaver River thing up, and I'm going to bring it up again. And I said yes, and Jason Pratt, who is the fire chief up in Big Moose, has called the railroad people, and he is getting no response. So how this is going to fare out, I don't know. But in talking to our chief of police, he also basically said what I've been saying all along, that what they've done to the railroad is they've culverted out so deep on the sides now that there's going to be impassable. It's not happening. So that also, like I've been saying, is going to screw up our snowmobile system that goes up to there. End result, I really would like to push, and we've been talking to the senator, Mark Walczak, we've just been going crazy talking to people, and it seems to be going absolutely nowhere, and it never has. I hope that it will someday. Just asking for at least a trail, a snowmobile trail, not a town road, a snowmobile trail to get up there. Because I am concerned about the fact that, I guess I can say ever since COVID, people have been moving here, they've been putting houses in places and moving, staying longer, possibly year round, in some of these remote areas. Our police department, our fire department all have ATVs to get to these places, but without a trail, they're not getting there. So it's going to be an issue. One of these years we're going to get sued or something. Something's going to happen. Especially taking a train out there with a bunch of people. But
Can I ask about the trail that they talked about when we went to Beaver River 2 weeks ago? They talked about a trail that went from Twitchell Lake. Was that right?
No.
8 mile. There's an 8 mile trail that goes from Twitchell Lake to Beaver River.
it's a
Is
trail.
there a possibility to make that trail wider?
I believe that is town property, but I do know that it goes up and down, and it's a big deal to make that.
I just wondered because they did
Could it
mention
work?
that there was
Sure,
a trail.
You know, back in the late 1800s, they put a bridge across the Mississippi. We ought to be able to make the trail to Beaver River. Hey, what can I say?
That was way better than the rest of the meeting.
Well, I just have this major concern, and I really will also say that snowmobilers they're pretty dedicated. And Facebook and all the social media stuff, if that starts to get out that now they can't get to Beaver River, now they can't get to Tupper Lake, it's going to be a problem. It's going to hurt us.
It's a state corridor trail, right?
It's state land through that whole property.
It's a state, well, it's designated state corridor trail, right?
The
The
Twitchell
railroad?
The railroad.
The railroad is.
Through the winter is a state corridor.
is, but they've ruined it to groom it. That's the problem.
Very true.
I mean, yeah, we can use it all winter long. That's for us to snowmobile on, but if we can't groom it, it's useless.
State
My
won't
opinion.
help maintain it. Doing it.
Well, they maintained it to use a train on it. They didn't maintain it for grooming it. That's all.
That's it? Okay. I just have a couple things. There was a progress meeting with BCA engineers on the UV disinfection and headworks improvement project at our wastewater treatment plant. It seems that it's moving right along. The weather worked out well for them in the past few weeks. The biggest problem I hear is lead time on parts and equipment. Our next meeting was scheduled for November 10th, but it will be rescheduled as that was a holiday. Nancy and I went to the Blessing of the Animals at the Conklin Family Dog Park last week. Thank you to Reverend Thomas Kornmeyer and Reverend Naomi Kelly for organizing that event. Oktoberfest is Saturday at the George T. Hildebrandt Building from 11 to 5. There's beer and wine vendors, music and performers, hay wagons, and pumpkins. There's also going to be an ambulance fundraiser there, and I'm understanding that Gary's going to be in some lederhosen. So I think that we should go check that out. The CAA's been working very hard on this, and I encourage you all to attend. Thank you
You
very
had to
much.
do that publicly, huh?
Yes, sir.
I have a class
Nancy?
out of
Make it a
town. Am I gonna miss
surprise.
Jerry and your-
Maybe worth attending, folks, just to see me in one of those outfits.
Dunk tank?
I know.
Right? We could probably get one.
Transfer station is on off-season winter hours, so we are open only Wednesdays, 8 to noon, 1 to 4, and Sundays, 8 to noon. Closed Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's open only Wednesdays and Sundays. That's it.
Thank you. Oops. All right, we're off to our members of assembly. Please state your name for the record. Anyone?
Yeah. Where you wanna go?
My name's Paul Moore. I'm a little concerned with this transfer thing. The first thing I'd like to know is when is this going to take effect? Immediately, or
No, not until we have everything in order, because we had to get this passed before we could actually then
Purchase.
order the stickers and labels, and there's gonna be a lead time on that.
That was my other question, is wouldn't you have some type of a fee schedule before you took a vote on this? I mean, I'm assuming that
only
you know
fee
what a
there's gonna-
sticker is gonna cost.
Well, I
You
don't
only
until
change
we,
to how many you're gonna order.
right, it depends on how many we order, because it goes down exponentially if you order 1,000, 2,000, or 5,000. So I'm gonna meet with Nancy as soon as we don't have a budget meeting, so that we can go over that. But the fees, we're talking a couple of dollars for the stickers for the bags.
Well, that's why I
at
figured
most.
you might have had a fee schedule depending on how many you would have ordered before you.
I do, but that's not part of the law, so the town can adjust that at any time, the town board. So we might set one now, and the new board might say next year, we gotta bump that up. So that's why it's not in the law. So,
I think
but that's,
all the other fees though that are currently in place are basically staying the
those
same,
are,
right? I mean,
right, Nancy's already got the other
don't-
fees currently stated that have been by law.
It's just people that don't have the sticker on their vehicle.
Yeah.
They have to pay the $1, $2, whatever that.
And that'll go on the fee schedule with all the other things for tires and et cetera, so.
The other thing I've gotta ask is probably more for Bonnie maybe than the whole board, but the dog control officer.
Yep.
Are we paying him to patrol the town like the police, or what's?
He's
I've seen him out at all hours of the day and night, literally at midnight, 8 in the morning. I mean, have we got a huge dog problem? Are
Well,
we
we've
supplying
had,
him a car and our gas, or
we have
not?
4 dogs that have been missing in the last.
Is
4
that our
weeks.
responsibility to go find him? Is to pay
We do pay for dog control, yes, we do
dog
pay
control but
for
go
him
search
to
the
help
dog?
look for a dog, we do.
But he's salaried anyway, correct?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but my concern is, none of our other department heads can just drive around their vehicles at any given time unless they're actually working. And I've seen him out at midnight, 1 in the morning. I've seen him at 7:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It just seems to me like we're providing somebody with a vehicle and a gas allowance here. I'm just asking. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, it's, the money certainly isn't that much, that he gets paid for that. And mileage too, we just did a mileage statement, you could probably get that from Nancy if you wanted to see how much he gets paid for mileage.
Yeah.
But it
Why
really
did he
is,
get paid for mileage? It's our vehicle. It's
Oh.
a town vehicle.
Yeah, no, it's a town vehicle.
oh, he's not doing mileage now?
No, he
That's
doesn't
my
do
biggest
early
mileage.
on.
question. It's a town
He
vehicle.
did mileage earlier, now it's
He
done.
did early on, my bad, I forgot.
He gets like $30 in gas every couple weeks. It's not a lot. Just FYI.
But we do have those numbers if you want to come.
Yeah, I just don't have
I
them.
kind of like to because, like
Okay.
I said, I've seen him at unbelievable hours that I didn't think we had that big of a dog problem.
I'll get you those.
Thank you.
You bet.
I know that in the past the dog control vehicle wasn't being used much previously.
Hardly used
And-
at all.
Right, and so that there was talk of like look, make sure you at least drive it a little bit because we were paying for repairs every 3 months when they did get driven with brakes or different things. So I know that in the past we did encourage using the vehicle a little bit so it doesn't just sit
I can
there.
understand that
So-
part, but it just seems to me it's
I understand what
excessive.
you're saying, but
It's really
yeah.
excessive to me. Because
Well,
I walk all the time. I walk at night. I walk during the day, mornings, and it just seems like it's excessive use to me.
As far as those hours, unless, I mean, if somebody called in and said, hey, my dog just ran away, can you help me out or something like that, we don't know, or I don't know when those calls went in.
Yeah, there have been a couple missing dogs that took,
And if people call him about dog barking, he will go
Dog
out.
barking, yeah,
He will
things
go
like
out.
that, we don't know what time those happen.
I don't either. Me either.
I'll look into that for you though. I'll get you those numbers.
That's all.
Thank you.
David Winslow, following up on the garbage thing there.
Yep.
That was, we had public hearing and then you guys voted on it. It seemed like there was no interaction with the people here.
We gave you that window.
No, not one of the public hearing, we can't respond.
At public hearing, we can't, but your regular protocol, when you do things, you have your first part of the meeting, you just interact amongst yourselves, you're not.
That's how it works. You know how it works. You've been here.
So we didn't have any input about your discussion.
You had your input during the public hearing.
I had a question about it and I didn't, then I got an
Public
answer.
hearings for comments.
and so
Right.
if there's anything you wanna share,
Well, it just seems this new policy of having to get tickets or get bag tickets and stuff, whatever, it's going to be a detriment to our community.
It's to protect the community because the
It's
amount
going
of
to be a
money
detriment to the
the
community.
amount of money we're spending on hauling and garbage and all that stuff. You know, the amount of people that are coming from out of town that have nothing.
So why would it be a detriment?
Well, when I first got on the town board, one of my first things I tried to push the town to do was to open up the transfer station. The supervisor at the time was kicking in reluctant, but we finally got the transfer station open to the public. And people had a place to take the garbage and get rid of it. They didn't have to leave it at the end of their driveway or this or that, whatever. Renters or whoever, camp owners, property owners, they need to be able to take garbage to get rid of it, especially in the heat of the summer when people are coming and going and this and that. And they're not going to be able to come, they're backing up to when are they going to be able to come and get ticket or their garbage labels here and things like that? And who's going to do that, and who's going to put the burden on the office here? Who's going to be peddling all that stuff?
Well, if you have a sticker for your car, you don't need anything for a bag or anything. If you just have that for your car, you go up there and you dump. You know, like the one that hangs on your mirror or whatever. One for like the renters and the short-term rentals and whatnot. Those are left behind for people that rent. That's where those stickers come into play. Those need to be on the bag for people that don't have the ones that go in your car. So the whole purpose of the whole thing is nothing is really changing. We're just trying to enforce the amount of people that are coming here from Boonville, Forestport, Port Lyden, Lewis County that are just dumping loads and loads and loads of garbage up there, and we're like literally the butt of so many jokes because we allow it. I mean, they go to these other transfer stations and out of our area. Just bring that. Oh yeah, no, we don't take that here. Just take it up to Old Forge. They take anything. That's what's been going on for years and years and years, and that's what we're trying to control.
One question I would have: are they going to be your bags you're talking about, or bag labels? I guess.
Labels.
Are they going to be available weekends?
Yes, they will be available either in Nancy's office or next door in the publicity office. So 7 days a week. We're still working on. We're probably going to do a mailing, David. In answer to your question, how are people going to get them? There's people that don't ever come to Old Forge that own properties here that have the right to get these tags for their car. So we'll probably end up doing a mailing, and it's been talked about already about doing that. To get the initial stuff out, you have to prove by your tax bill that you own property to get those two labels. And I think it's every 2 years this will change so that the color changes so that Joe Blow, who moved to Forestport, is still using his Town of Webb tag. It'll be a different color, so they'll know up there that that's an old tag. No, you can't come in, you have to get your front tag.
That's the other big part of this too, is the guys at the transfer station need a little help. You know, we've all been up there with like lines and lines and lines of cars trying to dump stuff. They don't have time, or they can't tell who's what, or how are they going to control those people.
You're going to need more help up there. You're going to have a lot of pissed off people.
Remember that normal garbage pickup is still hell. It's still, that all is still the same.
Nothing has changed.
The only concern I have would be is how much of this, if they're turned away, is going to end up on the side of the road.
That is a concern.
That's my concern.
And I think we're going to have a fair bit of it.
It may happen.
Word will get around pretty quickly that they can't bring it here, so maybe initially we'll have some of that. I don't disagree with you at all on that, but we have to start somewhere. And the towns that we've talked to that do this said there's complaints constantly. They've done it for years, and there's still complaints from residents. So not everybody is going to like it, but I have resolved in my heart that we're doing the right thing to control it, to keep us from spending a fortune in hauling.
What's the number?
If you look at our hauling fees, I mean,
I was just going to say
they're you know, we're hauling a lot more, so it's starting to, you know, like we feel like we should try something. What's that?
Isn't that still by contract?
It is by contract.
It's the quantity.
It's the quantity.
We pay per
You know what I mean? So it's not a
haul,
one set
but
tonnage. Right. So.
Which is a lot more in a rainy season.
Sure it is.
Right.
Water.
Snow, rain, that's all heavy.
So I want you to come back and drive these guys crazy over this, because I'll be gone. And every time you have a complaint, you come right in and sit right in the front row.
I got a question for you then. I've had this question a while. How many times do you take garbage up to the transfer station?
Never, my husband does it. Thank you.
Mike has a dumpster. You guys, you have a dumpster. You have town pickup.
No,
I take mine
take it there.
We always take our
I
trash
take my
out.
stuff.
We don't keep it
Matt,
out.
Matt does.
Yep.
Spent many trips to the transfer station.
To be up there, to go up there and watch the flow of people. Boom, boom, boom. And
I went up Sunday, actually,
it's-
with Matt, and he came out with a smile, and there was no backup, everything moved fine. Don't sweat it, honestly, don't sweat it.
When all
It's
the
gonna be
people
fine.
from Boonville
Stop.
and Forestport and all that stop coming, there's not gonna be any lines,
No lines, no waiting.
right?
That's the hope.
seems like you're penalizing everyone.
No one's
The-
getting
Who are we
penalized.
penalizing?
No one's getting penalized.
Who's getting penalized?
We're saving you money. You can still go there. Nothing's holding, right? I mean, we're saving money on taxes, and everybody in this room can still go there as much as they want now.
So anyone taking garbage there, it's gotta have a label, and they have to pay for the label.
No.
No,
No.
you get
If
free
you have the
tags
sticker on
for
your
your
truck,
car. If you
if
live
you have
here,
the sticker on your truck,
Goes in your rearview mirror.
then you don't need a label.
it's a
You
claim.
You're a
have to
town
pay
web
for a thing.
taxpayer.
You have
You
the
don't
little
need
sticker on the
anything
car,
but your
you
little
pull in,
sticker.
you
You
just
don't
throw
have
your
to buy
stuff
a
away.
label.
No stickers, no nothing.
I
You just
rent.
got the one label on your car.
I'm not a property owner in Old Fort.
You don't have to be
You
a
don't have
property
to be.
owner. A
You're gonna
resident.
get it.
Okay.
Resident.
I thought you said
Resident.
something different than I heard earlier.
Well, I said property.
Your
because it's-
landlord would be responsible
Your
for
landlord's gonna
getting
be
your
the
tags.
responsible one.
Yes,
So
sir.
every tenant.
So
paid
somebody that doesn't live in town, and they come and buy these stickers,
No, you gotta prove residency.
you gotta prove
In order to buy,
residency.
in order to buy them, you have to prove residency.
Prove residency or prove being a taxpayer?
In order to buy tickets, you only have to be a taxpayer for any of this.
Prove your residence.
Or, excuse me, a resident.
Prove your residency.
You're throwing words into my mouth that we don't need. You only have to live here.
You're
The
saying
property
earlier-
So Ron who
owners-
rents is gonna have a ticket to go to the transfer station.
Right, his landlord will have to get the tickets for however many apartments are in his building. His landlord will get 2 per kitchen unit is how they gear it.
Short
There
term.
are 3 of us now that are renters in it.
So
you'll
you'll
each
each
get
get 2
two.
Let's
tickets.
get two.
And sometimes we all go up to the transfer station if we can't make the Thursday night for the Friday morning pickup.
That's fine. You're just gonna,
You
nothing's
still
gonna be
get
different,
all
just to have a sticker on your car.
Right.
That's all. It doesn't matter whose car. If you join up, you're saving money. Great.
Right.
You're saving gas if it's carpooling.
We're even working on getting a little C&D dumpster.
No, don't go there.
I was gonna bring that
No.
up, you know, we can take C&D to Lewis County, and they actually want you to, because they're actually making money on it. The biggest expense of that, if we wanted that here, would be scales, number 1,
Right.
and then open top trailers. That C&D goes in all open top trailers. But
So-
that's something that maybe the town ought to consider in the future,
We are, yeah. Right.
okay?
We're looking
Because it's
at,
actually a moneymaker.
That's what I just said. Yeah, we're looking into getting C&D.
we've started the conversation with Scott.
Tina Uckel, I spoke to you about taking pellet bags because they're recyclable,
Oh, right.
and I was wondering how we proceeded on that.
He did, Scott said yes, he could do that, and I don't know if there's been follow through or not. So that he had to
Because
get a
I've started
container.
using my pellet bags, so and
Yeah,
I would like to recycle them
He
here.
talked to
instead
the Herkimer Oneida Waste Authority,
Okay.
and they said that they have a specific container. So let me just check with him tomorrow to make sure that he's got that container,
Okay.
because you're right, it's the time of year to have
Yeah.
that for them, so.
of, and I'd be more than happy to bring them up there.
Yep, thank you for reminding me.
I'm sure other
Garbage
people
bags.
would. It's a big service to offer that, I think. It's a lot of plastic that gets
Right.
thrown to garbage and not recycled in an environment where we need to recycle more.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Okay, my 4 or 5 neighbors that are taxpayers here, but not residents, they don't get stickers?
Oh my God, David,
What?
everybody gets a sticker. Everybody that has property here gets a sticker. If they own property, they don't have to live here, they get 2 stickers for their vehicles. So if they want to leave them for someone who's renting, or if their family comes
You
up.
said residents.
Yeah, I don't know how to
Taxpayers,
clarify it for you.
Resident / tax.
Everybody,
You said I was putting words in your mouth by saying taxpayer.
am I really being that?
We're gonna send letters to
Don't
all
worry,
the
I got one more
taxpayers with
meeting.
labels, and then any residents will get them.
This is why I can't remember how many meetings I had.
She's got 3. She's got 3.
I know.
Three.
They're making fun of me now. You got it?
You got one at the end of December, right?
Yeah.
That's 3 meetings.
What's at the end of December?
Anyone else?
The closing meeting for the,
Yeah. I'll be closed.
what was that repair, the carpet repair Macaulay budgeted for?
Yeah.
I believe it was,
Yes.
wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning of the season.
Yes.
The deck wasn't.
You mentioned before about having a meeting with Hudson Black River Regulating Authority.
Yep, Hudson Black River Regulating canceled their meeting. Their contract with their engineer ran out. They hadn't realized it. They're in negotiations right now to get that contract back in. Who spoke to them? Thank you. You can.
I didn't
Feed off
speak to
that.
them. I talked to Dick Bird,
Dick
who
Bird.
was on that committee, whatever that is, board. And I think he went today to the meeting in Watertown. And I told him, bring back information. He said he believes, and this, I don't take this to the bank or nothing, that project, the 6 Lake Dam and this dam is still on the for next year. This next year, I believe he said. But he's gonna bring back information after this meeting to us.
And I've heard 2 different things. I've heard that 6 Lake Dam is the priority and then ours is second priority.
They're putting them both in the same
Are they gonna do it at the same time?
That's,
Oh,
that's what he
that's-
said, but
okay.
like I said, I don't wanna put words in his mouth until we know for
So
sure.
that's where we're at. So we'll wait and see on that. Anything else, anyone? What's up? Like a motion to pay the audited claims?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Sure.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Tom and Barb.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, everyone.